Alright, let's cut to the chase. I left the UK for China and I have no regrets. In fact, after 3 years here, I can confidently say that I am staying put. If not in this amazing country that I currently call home, then at least in Asia. Why? Because life here is better. Not perfect, but better. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why I traded a crumbling, overpriced UK for a country that's on the rise, and how the media back home simply isn't telling you the truth about life in China. When I graduated, like many people, I was stuck in this limbo, watching my beloved country spiral into chaos. Trains don't run, housing is unaffordable, salaries haven't risen in decades, and every time you turn on the news, it's more political circus. So I decided to take a gamble, pack my bags and move to China. In fact, it wasn't 100% a gamble. You see, I had already met my girlfriend at university in the UK, so I already kind of had an idea about her country. I'll admit, I was skeptical. I'd seen all the Western headlines: authoritarian, polluted, oppressive. But when you've got nothing to lose and an adventure lying in front of you, you start to question the narrative. Here's the first thing they don't tell you. China is not what you think it is. Yes, it's different. Yes, it's a challenge. But different doesn't mean worse. Take technology. Here, everything is seamless. You pay for something by scanning a QR code. To order a taxi, you open an app and one is at your door within minutes. Even government services and healthcare is streamlined. You can renew documents and pay bills online without a headache. Whilst the UK is still fumbling around with outdated systems, China is living in 2050. Even booking a healthcare appointment to see a doctor is done online without having to call up first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock like in the UK and try and get an appointment. Let's talk about public spaces. Back home in the UK, it feels like parks and streets and public areas are either neglected or dominated by antisocial behaviour. Broken benches, litter everywhere, and the general feeling that no one really cares anymore. Here in China, public spaces are pristine. Parks are beautiful, they're beautifully maintained. They're full of families, they're full of elderly people exercising and kids playing. Streets are clean because there's a genuine effort to keep them that way. Not just by city workers, but by the people that live there. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about a sense of pride and respect for the environment around you. Compare that to the UK, where it seems that public spaces are an afterthought, if they are thought about at all. And travel, forget it. China has mastered the art of convenience. Their high-speed trains make public transport in the UK look prehistoric. Imagine travelling a couple of 100 miles in a couple of hours. No delays, no strikes, no extortionate prices. Back in the UK, it is a miracle if the train even shows up at all. And then when it does, it probably stinks of piss anyway. Now let's talk about safety. Walking home in the UK sometimes can feel like rolling a dice, especially in cities. In London, I regret to have to repeat this, but at this moment in time, a rape is reported once every hour. Now that simply is not acceptable for a society that I would like to live in. Here in China and pretty much all of Asia, I can walk through any neighborhood, even late at night, and feel completely at ease. It's not just about crime stats, it's about the overall vibe. People respect each other's space, there is order. I know what you're thinking. What about freedom? Yeah, I have heard that one so many times. In China, you can't say this, you can't do that. But here's the thing, back in the UK, it's not as if you're living in some utopia of free speech either. Especially not recently. Cancel culture, endless culture wars, and a political system that doesn't work for anyone except the people right at the top. At least here, I'm not constantly bombarded with divisive nonsense or told that I need to pick a side. And whilst the UK debates whether or not to fix potholes or build their first high-speed train, China is building cities that look like something out of a sci-fi movie. The speed and development here is insane. New infrastructure, clean streets, efficient services. It's not just a country that's growing, it's a country that seems to have a vision. Now, of course, I am not saying that China is perfect. Far from it. There are things that I miss about the UK, like my family, English pubs, even some of the food. But what I don't miss is the constant sense of decline, or feeling like everything is getting worse year after year after year, with no end in sight. One thing that's progressed in the UK actually massively is the nighttime economy. Back home, cities practically shut down at 10 p.m. Good luck finding a decent meal or a lively public space at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. In China, cities come alive at night. Night markets, late night eateries, 24-hour convenience stores are absolutely everywhere. Streets are vibrant with people shopping, socializing, or just enjoying the atmosphere. There's a sense of energy and community, even late into the evening. It's great. Compare that to the UK, where walking through a city at night often feels either completely dead or just outright sketchy. And the people here, they are nothing like what you'd expect if all you did was read Western headlines. They are curious, friendly, and welcoming. Sure, there's a language barrier that I'm still trying to overcome, but it's not the end of the world. Look, I know this video will be controversial to some people. People get a bit funny when you challenge the status quo or say something positive about a country like China, who have constantly been denounced as a threat by the West. In fact, it's got to the point now where you cannot say a single good thing about China, no matter how big or how small, without being accused of being forced to say it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts below, drop them in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.